FuzzCulture, they have played over 50 shows in the country and also abroad since they established. And they also played most major festivals in India, including Barkadi NH7 Weekener, VH1 Supersonic, City of M, and many other festivals. And they were winners of Vima Asia Awards, highest honor. It's called Thank You for Existing Award in 2014, and they received in Malaysia. And their debut EP, Indulge Divulge, got rave reviews in all the magazines and the blogs it was featured in. And they were nominated for the Best Emerging Artist by Jack Daniel's Rolling Stone Awards in 2014. And they were also named as one of the top 10 producers to watch out for in the country by Border Movement in 2012. And of course, they have played most major venues in the country. You are with us at the Durian Heat.
The Durian Heat, bringing big ideas and critical opinions in Southeast Asia.
Hi, welcome back to the Durian Heat. I'm Grace.
And this is Arlene.
And we have been speaking with these two guys from India. Their band name is called FuzzCulture, Srijan and Arsh here. So, FuzzCulture has been together for 5 years. This is your 5th year. You guys have been performing very frequently in India, and you guys are now here in Malaysia. With all those experiences, could you just spill the bean and just share with us?
It's been great. We've done a lot of shows. We travel a lot, and we get to play as much as possible. And that's with the help of, honestly, with our managers back in India as well, and with the help of friends who we contact and keep in touch. And there are people who come out to the shows, and the scene is very good right now. I think it's been very nice to us over the last 1.5, 2 years for sure.
You guys received awards.
We got this thing called there's Vima Music Awards in Malaysia. So we got their thing called the Thank You for Existing Award in 2013. That's when we first got in touch with the Malaysian scene, right? And we came down here then, performed, and a lot of people liked what we did, so we got a lot of numbers. We became really good friends with Darren, so we came back in 2014. Then we helped Darren's band, An Honest Mistake, come to India for a festival in December in 2015. Then we were in touch with them, and we are back here again. So, it's just a ongoing collaboration and friendship we had with Darren over here as well.
So whenever you come to Malaysia, is it always different to you?
Yeah, I think
How has it been changed since last time you visited?
Since the last time I came here, I haven't eaten that big, the dosa, the roti tesu. Yeah, I haven't eaten it yet. But yeah, hopefully I'll eat it soon.
Well, we are going for the food direction. So how is the food here? Because we also do have Indian
amazing.
food.
It's awesome.
It's everything in the world.
What's your favorite?
Malaysian food.
Roti
tesu, that
Malaysia.
roti which is 9.5 feet long.
Yeah.
Like this, which is the size of a room.
And
that's
I think the Malay food has it's kind of similar in some ways to some Indian food as well, because there's a lot of Indian population here, I think.
Correct.
So,
what are the Indian food that you felt the most at home when it comes to Malaysian food?
Personally, I don't think we like feeling at home with food.
Yeah.
I would rather eat something which I've never seen before, so I go crazy with the Japanese type stuff. And India, meats are not that prominent, right? Because we don't eat beef in our country. So we eat all of that when we get out, because we're they don't let us eat beef in India. You just get buffalo. So eating nice tender meat is so amazing. And then some of the Chinese food, the Taiwanese food, Korean food, Malaysian food. So got everything here. Why would you like any food anywhere else besides here?
Yeah, I think Malaysia, the unique part of it is it's a mixture of different cultures. So a lot of the food are actually fusion food.
Fusion food, correct. And fusion, that's become mainstream now.
Yeah.
Even in the small places that are open at night to eat, the ones that we went to, it's a mix of food from all over. It's really, really good.
So if you're keeping your waist, don't come to Malaysia. Stay in India. But
No, in India, you'll just get potato, which has been deep fried in oil, and then put in more oil, and then with some butter, you'll get served that.
But I'm curious to know, because this is one of the first, I guess, Southeast Asian country that you're trying to put your mark on in the indie music scene. Do you feel the challenge is greater now that you have to start from scratch, trying to sort of like present yourself, branding yourself to the new crowd?
Plus, I think the music scene in Malaysia is very different. How do I say it? Maybe a little more American.
We have a lot of American influence.
In the way even the indie artists are, and the way they approach music, right? It's a lot more pop. Like in India, there's Bollywood, which is pop, and then there's strange European indie, which is the indie scene.
In India, it's such a gigantic country, and pursuing music as career, is it really hard or is it really competitive?
It's all good. It's very easy.
Really? So being musician is easier than in Malaysia. Is that so?
I mean, it's not, I guess we can call it easy now because of all the years that we have been doing this. But touch wood, like, things have been lucky for us. Like, we just kind of, I don't know, landed up doing this. And
being a full-time musician in India is a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, like, we're doing it.
Yeah, we're at it.
Because one of the challenge of indie musician in Malaysia, at least, or in Southeast Asia, is a challenge to be a full-time. So majority of them opted to do this on the side instead.
Correct.
The difference in India also is that there are multiple possibilities in the sense that, like, we run a studio in Delhi. Besides being in this band, play for a bunch of other bands as well. So what happens is that there are a lot of streams, right? Like Bollywood is actually very, very mainstream. So if you do some work with the film industry or the ad industry, there's a lot of money in it because it's a very big industry in India, right? On top of that, like, if you have multiple bands, a lot of touring options because you can easily do a 12, 13 city tour. And a lot of people get out for concerts. I mean, there are different types, of course. I mean, it's not like whatever you do will be successful. But there are a lot of avenues, especially because at least one portion of our industry is very mainstream, which is Bollywood, which you guys know. So in India, like, being a musician, like in Bombay, almost everyone's a musician.
Oh, really?
I mean, there's a lot of musicians. Everyone's connected to Bollywood in some way or the other. So a lot of musicians, a lot of actors, a lot of everything. Yeah.
So in India, being a musician, right? Do you also need to be multi-talented? Like, for example, here in Malaysia, the trend here nowadays, a musician can be a model, actress, or even something else, a TV presenter, and also at the same musician. But can a musician just survive as just being a musician in India?
What you're saying right now is actually a new trend in India as well, where people are like they're selling their looks and they're like. I think in India you can just be a musician, man, but you need to have multiple, like, at least ways of doing what you do. You can't just be a guitar player. You can just be a drummer, but then you play with 10 bands. You can be just a guitar player, but then you have to be like a chameleon. You have to play like everybody, So
but,
to get the session gigs.
But is the music scene in India opening up to foreign acts as well? Say
Yeah,
a
we get a
Malaysian
lot.
musician that wants to, open its influence in India. Do you think they actually have a greater opportunity to be successful?
We got Darren down in
I mean,
December,
yeah,
and his
Honest
gig was really
Mistake
good.
was
His
in
gig was really good.
India last year, December.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the musicians, when they want to expand, they either go to Western countries or other Southeast Asian countries or East Asia, which is China, Japan and Korea. But seldom they talk about India, which is an untapped resource and avenue for music.
And the thing is that Western bands are actually coming down a lot to India because the fanaticism of the crowds is very big because the scene is like 5 years old or 7 years old. So, and 5 years, I mean, the scene is 20 years old, but in the last 5-7 years, there's been a lot of infrastructure which has come in. So a lot of bands from Europe and America come down and tour in India a lot. And like major 5-6 city types, like Skrillex came and did like 8 cities. And Megadeth came in at 4 cities, so, and these guys are playing all these venues and they have so many people who are coming down, like Sunburn, which is in Goa, had like 200,000 people this time, right?
So
that's a festival.
Really a lot of population there.
Yeah, so I mean, like, these guys come there and they're like, wow, that's a lot of people. So I mean, those guys are tapping into it now. It's just about us Asian countries sort of at least trying to start a touring circuit here, because Europe has done it, America has done it. Like, we've not done it. Like, we just stay in our own little cliques.
So how are the responses from audience been so far towards the international act and as well as towards local acts?
In India?
Yeah.
I think it's very good.
Are there any differences when it comes to international acts and towards the reaction towards the local bands?
I think Indian people generally like it when Western people come. So if you see like someone who represents someone who might have colonized you, like, the reaction's pretty good.
Right. I guess it's pretty common in Southeast Asia as well. The reception of international artists to our home country is more welcoming.
Like, if you get acknowledgement from that side of things, then suddenly you're treated more seriously. So it's a little funny.
All right.
But do you see yourself like trying to expand to Western countries?
Of course, we did UK last year. We did a bunch of shows there. And we're in touch with a lot of people there and trying to get some gigs at that side as well, for sure. Yeah.
Right, we'll continue our stories and the conversation of this second break. We'll come back.
You're now listening to Durian ASEAN, the voice of discovery and sharing.